Hello, hi, this is me, Agrima Joshua. You know me from, uh, you know, and if there is a new YouTube channel that you must subscribe to, it's Taking It Slow podcast. It's done by my friend Rich, who is absolutely hilarious at times, but he's the sober one in this podcast, especially. He's laughing in the background. And if you don't like me, which is quite possible, please run the hashtag boycott taking it slow podcast on YouTube. If you want to boycott this podcast, you can boycott them on Spotify, YouTube, um, and all the other places that you get your podcasts from. Just just run the hashtag too. Just do it.
It's another Sunday. You know what that means. It's time to take it slow. Today is a very important episode for me for a couple of reasons. One is because I feel quite passionately and strongly about the topic we are about to discuss. The other is my partner in crime today. She's probably one of the biggest reasons we've been able to continue this podcast for over a year now. She's been a rock of support, be it tips on improving ourselves, be it reaching out to people. I could go on. She's been an overall awesome person. One of the real perks of doing this podcast has been to gain her as a friend. It takes me a lot of pleasure to invite back on the Taking It Slow podcast none other than Agrima. Hey Agrima, how are you?
Hi, hi. That is quite an introduction.
After
I
17 attempts, we have got the audio video right.
Yep.
So, what have you been up to? So, the last time you came on the pod, it was our fifth episode. You were the first person who said कि हाँ ठीक है तुम लोग कर रहे हो अच्छा कर रहे हो keep doing this and you can improve on XYZ. If you want some help, reach out. I'll help you connect with other people as well. What has changed in your life over the last year or so?
I've been focusing more on work. I'm actually taking my day job very seriously now. It's
Hmm.
getting and my day job is I work for a digital marketing agency. We do ads, we do campaigns. I don't think I understand half of what my company does, but that's pretty much like mota mota all of this. So I've been focusing more on my job. I went to Srinagar for a bit, came
Yeah.
back. What else has changed?
So a lot of people don't know that you have a day job as well,
Yeah,
because
there's a
it
reason why.
लास्ट टाइम व्हेन वी स्पोक मुझे भी पहली बार को बड़ा शौक लगा अच्छा कॉमेडी इनका डे जॉब नहीं है ये अलग काम करना पड़ता है
Yeah,
you work for an agency of course. uh,
yeah.
tell everybody else who's listening to this side of Agrima for the first time, what do you do on a day to day basis? What is your job like?
Okay. So the thing is that I wanted to be a writer. Okay.
Hmm.
And fun fact, in order to write and get paid for it, you've got to do something other, like either I wasn't very sure of how I would work out as a fiction writer. I
You were
had
writing
very
for
little.
auto car magazines as well. uh,
I wasn't writing for them. No, I was copy editing. I was telling a bunch of people how
yes,
to write.
yes, yes,
That's
yes, yes,
I was
yes.
a copy. I was a copy editor. It was just
Hmm.
and that was my first job. And then
Hmm.
I realized that I needed to do something that was creative as well.
Yeah.
But being a writer, having to have a job where your entire life depends on your next great idea for a story or whatever, it's very daunting for me, which is why I don't fully commit to comedy either. I just don't like the idea of my bills being paid by something that I actually love doing. So I decided
Hmm.
to do copywriting, which is um, it's creatively fulfilling in a way, yeah, but it also helps me compartmentalize. Like this,
Hmm.
I can
Hmm.
I can detach myself from the work that is. It's like if something gets rejected, if something doesn't work out, I'm like, this is not my whole personality. This is not me.
Yep.
So it's
Yep.
a way
Yep.
to compartmentalize my life and keep, and also I'm sorry, but it's out of all of the writing jobs, it's the one that's most lucrative in a way. And once in a while, there are good days as well. Like you wake up one day morning and you have something very interesting and exciting to write. I know that sounds cliche, but like once in a while
Hmm.
you do. There are good days. It's very rare to like wake up in the morning and look forward to what you do. I've written poetry. I've written shairi. I don't want to name any of the brands because I don't want any of them boycotted after this podcast is released. Whatever.
Completely on point segue. Talking of ads, and so how we got doing this podcast today was, I have been thinking of what has been going on in the past week or so. और ये कोई नई बात नहीं है. Every year, this is a recurring phenomena now. कोई एक ब्रांड कोई एक एड रिलीज करेगा टू कैपिटलाइज ऑन अ फेस्टिवल और एन ओकेजन. ये हर ब्रांड करता है. फॉर एनीवन हु इज लिसनिंग, हु इज नॉट अवेयर ऑफ दिस मार्केटिंग चेन, हर मार्केटिंग कैलेंडर में 6 या 7 डेट्स होते हैं. उसके अराउंड तुम्हें कैंपेन्स करने होते हैं, एंड ये हर ब्रांड करता है. एंड हर साल किसी ना किसी बड़े सनातन धर्म के ओकेजन पे कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा आउटरेज आना शुरू होता है कि ये तुमने कह कैसे दिया, ये तुमने बोल कैसे दिया, मेरी पूरी कल्चर को हिट हो गया है. मेरे पूरे आज तक के जो मेरे बिलीव्स थे, जो मेरे सेंटिमेंट्स थे, जो मेरे आइडियोलॉजीज थी, उस सबको ऑफेंड कर दिया तुमने. सो हर साल ये होता है. एंड इस साल आई हैव बीन एक्सपीरियंसिंग इट लिटिल in a little higher volume than usual, in a slightly stronger intensity than usual. हर बार होता है, but we usually, हाँ ठीक है, we ignore it as bullshit. but पिछले 1 से 1.5 वीक से मैं जब हर रोज उठ के कुछ नया देखने को मिल रहा है, और ऐसी ऐसी रैंडम चीजों पे लोग ऑफेंस ले तो खैर कूल हो गया है, ऑफेंस ले रहे हैं कि इट इज साउंडिंग अ लिटिल टू ओवर बियरिंग नाउ. So to give you all context of what I'm speaking about, so Fab India recently came up with their own collection, their own festive collection, which is called Jashne Rewaz. For people who don't understand, it is celebration
Oh my
of your
God. I love how it's like circled in red.
circle.
जैसे
Yes,
गरिमा करते लाल
yes.
में like
And obviously, as soon as this campaign came out, the custodian of our sentiments, the custodian of our religion, Mr. Tejasvi Surya, had to jump on the bandwagon and say this is not just Rewaz. This is
Firstly, it's not Jashne. He's said Jashe
Jashe.
Rewaz. और यार एक बार मुझे पता है तुम लोग को पढ़ना नहीं आता है, लेकिन यार ये तो सबको पता है जश्न होता है. We must
This
yeah, and
this
also what is Abrahamization? My whole timeline was filled with pictures of John Abraham that day.
yeah, so this happened, and obviously the second person on the bandwagon was, as usual, Miss Shifali Vaidya, who also started a new hashtag itself, no bindi no business. So Agrima has put on a bindi especially for this podcast because she wants to be in line, she has to fall in line, of course. So this happened, and उसके बाद काफी और चीजें भी मैंने देखा था. सीएट का एक एड आया था which simply said
Oh,
don't burst firecrackers on road.
no, it was not don't burst firecrackers actually. उन्होंने क्या
हाँ,
किया था? They were basically the format of the ad is, ये मैं अपनी मॉम को
एक
समझा
दिन
रही
हम
थी.
इतने समझदार बनेंगे.
एक दिन हम इतने समझदार बनेंगे कि हम रोड पे बारात लेके नहीं जाएंगे, रोड पे फायर क्रैकर्स नहीं करेंगे. Now the thing is that they were saying कि आप they were very upset that we were bringing up that they were only bringing up Hindu festivals. Now the thing is that people don't realize one thing, that the majority culture of India, you have to understand, the culture of India is associated with main majority religion.
Yep.
That
Yep.
is generally like when you go outside, for everyone who meets you abroad and all, you are Hindu.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, they don't think, they don't even know that there are Christians or there are Muslims in India. India has always been
Yep.
associated with Hinduism. So when brands they make ads, they always keep that in mind, the fact that the majority religion is Hindu. So they will always it's a no-brainer. Your protagonist in a Hindi film will always be Hindu. उनका हिंदू रिवाज होगा. यू नो शादी के रिवाज वगैरह सब हिंदू होंगे. तो जब आप एड भी बनाते हो तो आप एक बारात दिखाते हो, उसमें कोई रिलीजन इट्स नॉट मेंशन, बट इट्स जस्ट वो बारात तो हमारे यहाँ भी होती है. बारात तो हम, आपको क्या लगता है ईसाइयों में बारात नहीं होती है? देयर इज अ बारात, या देयर इज अ होल बारात एंड एवरीथिंग.
Yeah.
हाँ, दिस इज एवरीवेयर. आई डोंट नो व्हाई दे थॉट दैट इट वाज जस्ट एसोसिएटेड विद वन रिलीजन, क्योंकि बारात तो हर रिलीजन में आती है. इट्स ऑलवेज लड़के
See,
वाले के लिए.
Agrima, the problem is you are giving them too much credit for having a brain. So the problem is with
नहीं,
you.
मैं ये
You
नहीं
are
कहूंगी. आई विल नॉट.
expecting them to think with logic. That the
नहीं,
problem
आई
is with
डोंट.
you.
No, I think this is the problem with our entire country. The problem with our entire country right now is that we are assuming. that these people
Hmm.
who are bringing out this outrage are not, they don't have brains. I'm sorry. I believe that Shefali Vedya she's a smart lady. She knows exactly what she's doing and
Hmm.
she knows exactly what kind of fire she's stoking.
Hmm.
Same is the case with Tejasvi Surya. They're genuinely, they're not stupid people. They're all very smart. You speak to them, they know exactly what they're talking about. Stop assuming, stop underestimating their ability to think for themselves. They do think for themselves. The
I'm not
idea over here,
underestimating Tejasvi Surya or Shefali Vaidya. They are people who are playing to the galleries. They know exactly who their core audience is, who their TG is. But I'm talking about the people who spam timelines of these ads, who make such hashtags viral: boycott Ceat, boycott Fab India. They have the deduction capacity, or if you expect them to have the nouns to understand that this is depicting an occasion, not a religion, then I think you're expecting too much.
I see their point. There is a certain kind of mockery that they
Hmm.
feel they are being subject to across
Hmm.
the world. And they believe, now look at the Christians, for example. The Christians will never react like that. Because as Louis C.K. said, that the Christians kind of won the world. Uh,
Hmm.
I mean, most of the leading countries in the
Hmm. Hmm.
world right now, at least, save for China, most of them are majority religion is Christianity. Not that people over there are actually Christians or they actually believe, but like that's the general sentiment.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
when you make fun of any religious symbols of Christianity, earlier there used to be time when the Catholic Church used to come out and get take offense and try. They used to try to ban films. They used to try to ban. They tried to ban that Da Vinci Code, by the way.
Yeah, 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 I remember that.
And
I remember that. Yeah.
there's a lot that goes on even in Christianity now. There are, and as far as satire is concerned, this is my favorite part. Jesus has been the subject of some very good satire. And if you watch that satire, you realize that the joke is not on Jesus. There's a sketch called GOP Jesus. It's Republican
Okay.
Jesus. Okay. Now the
Okay.
Republicans is the right wingers in America.
Uh-huh.
They are generally
Yeah.
right. They are also उनका भी वही है Christian खतरे में है उनका भी चलता है.
Conservatives. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they have actually started a campaign in America like Christian खतरे में है types. I'm not kidding you. They are don't any. It is crazy. They said that Christianity is in danger because we are not saying Merry Christmas anymore. Why are we saying we are only saying Happy Holidays? Why happy? They have tried to. By the way, this is not just a religion problem in India alone. वहाँ पे भी है.
या 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 या
They try to
यार डोनाल्ड
boycott
ट्रम्प पावर में
Starbucks.
क्यों आया था? डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प पावर
Yeah,
में क्यों आया था? बिकॉज
and that's
देर इज एन इनहेरेंट फियर दैट वी आर बीइंग मार्जिनलाइज्ड. वी द मेजोरिटी हैज दैट फियर दैट वी आर बीइंग मार्जिनलाइज्ड. जो लिबरलाइजेशन हो रहा है, दैट इज एम्पावरिंग द माइनॉरिटीज टू मच.
so. My favorite is that they said that we want to boycott Starbucks because Starbucks removed Christian symbols from their Christmas cups and only made it winter, like a pagan festival. And I'm like, do you know the origin of Christmas? Because Christmas was originally Saturnalia, which was a pagan
Hmm.
holiday.
Hmm.
There's
Hmm.
no actual, nowhere in the Bible is it mentioned that Jesus was born on this particular day.
Yeah.
It was just that Europe was filled with Anglo-Saxons or whatever tribes, pagans that
Hmm.
were there. And that time they used to have a festival during the turn of the during the equinox, and to celebrate that, there was already a festival called Saturnalia. It was a winter festival because that's what the tree has nothing to do with Christianity, but it's still very
Hmm.
much a
Hmm. Hmm.
Christmas
Hmm.
symbol. That
Yeah.
they used to light trees with candles and whatnot. It was a festival of the pagans, and that we kind of co-opted. The Christians came and co-opted it, and yeah, there has been a lot of stupidity around uh, Christians and Christianity, especially in America. I do not know whether this happens in the other countries also. In fact, I believe the Catholic Church has absolutely zero problems with Starbucks and their fucking cups. Um, he's chilling, dude. Pope is the new Pope is pretty chill, dude. I've
Yeah. Yeah.
seen he wears whatever the hell he wants. That
Hmm. Hmm.
Christianity basically comes across as a more liberal religion right now to you because we've done all the cards in the early centuries. We literally invented the witch hunts. We were the ones who like were anti-scientist also, and even to this day, the flat earthers all Christians, bro. All the flat earthers are Christians. anti-vaxxers
Yeah.
are generally right-wing losers from America.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
that basically. I don't think the. I mean, if you're talking about rationality, I
It's
don't
not
think. I think
limited.
the Christians
It's not
fall far
limited
short.
to a particular nation.
It's
Hmm.
it's not limited to a particular nation. It's basically if you're a majority religion anywhere, and where religion plays such an important part in politics. Donald Trump.
Have you seen the poster of Oh My God 2? It
I
released today.
Are you serious? They're still making that film?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
How?
And
I'm.
they have gone all out now. Wait, I'll just show you if I have
Can you
it.
please? Can we please have it, guys? You.
Just a second. Fantastic audio content, but still. Yep. This is
Oh
the
my
poster
god.
of Oh My God 2.
Oh,
So
okay. I
when you
think
were
this is
saying, when
very.
you,
It's Akshay Kumar.
huh. Yeah, of course it is
So
Akshay Kumar.
I'm guessing it's.
It's Akshay Kumar portraying Lord Shiva. The tagline aptly says "Rakh Vishwas, tu hai Shiv ke paas." Yes, that's the tagline of the movie.
Okay. So I
So
guess.
on point.
No,
Yeah.
that's a great way to for Akshay Kumar to now. That's Akshay Kumar is now ensured that his son will never be caught for drugs. Like this
Yes,
is
absolutely.
amazing. I genuinely feel like this is obviously a complete departure from what the Oh My God series was about.
That's what I was surprised by.
Look, I know that religion is like the source of life to so many people in this country. Now it's like there is very little to there's very little goodness in the world, and for those people, waking up in the morning and having that personal connection with the God that they believe in is it's very rich for them. Because a lot of people
Completely
have.
on board. I'm a religious man myself, and I start my day with spending 5 minutes thinking about the higher power and all. But there are lines that you have to draw between being religious and. Okay, I don't want to call people
Yeah.
stupid again.
Now, I'll tell you the other thing is that there is a lot of people don't realize that when it comes to so I conduct a yearly, now it's become a yearly presentation in my office,
Hmm.
which is what not to do in festive campaigns. We do it before
Hmm.
Diwali. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a
Hmm.
thing. Because every time someone suggests, even remotely, that let's just talk about not posting, I was like, please, no, sit down, shh, quiet. We're going to promote. We are going to promote everything. We're going to promote. And you know what? You want to do? We want to save the environment. Do it during Christmas when you want to start doing something. What is all this? अभी आया आपको मैं स्टार्ट आपको अभी याद आ रहा है एनवायरमेंटल कैंपेन करने का कोई जरूरत नहीं है so that's what I do and I don't want to name any brand but
Of course not.
the day campaign came out the Jashne what is it called Jashne Riwaz
Just a
campaign
reverse, just a reverse. Yes.
it's now Jannal Si Diwali. They renamed it to Jannal Si
Of
Diwali.
course, of course, of course. हाँ,
Have you
क्या?
seen the entire video for Jashne Riwaz? Oh my God, it is so. I actually thought it was quite beautiful. They have used firstly, they've used very ethnic, earthy looking models. They're beautiful
Hmm.
girls who
Hmm.
look absolutely stunning. And so slowly and slowly they come on this, they are discovering Rajasthan. And the whole setting is Rajasthan, and they show an entire family in Rajasthan in a very beautiful mansion, palace like place, getting together for Diwali. And,
Hmm.
it's very, very Indian. It's very steeped in that, colors and culture that make India what it is. And I think they were not talking about Diwali at all. They were just talking about how there is a
Your traditions, your
tradition,
heritage.
your tradition and
That
heritage.
is
That's
what
what they
Jashna
were.
Rivas is, no? Celebration of your tradition. That is
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
what it means. Celebration of your tradition. Nothing to do with Hinduism or Christianity or Islam. Nothing to do with religion at all. Just tradition. Your
They had
heritage. That's it.
so one of the brands that my company writes for now was
Hmm.
their yearly campaign for Diwali is again some two Urdu words connected by A. Okay,
Oh.
which basically I think translates. I'm not gonna name it. It translates to very special gift, and it was their festive, range of
Hmm.
products, which comes in a beautiful gift box with a very Indian paisley print and everything. So they were
I can
calling
make
it.
the brand out now, yeah.
Shut up.
I am shut. Yes.
And I called up. I remember I called up my CD and I'm like, "Sir, इसको उपहार विशेष कर दे." मैं बता रही हूँ आपको. Just call. They are saying that no, this is a one thing that brands I think need to be careful about is if your entire brand personality the whole year round was Urdu and
Hmm.
Hindustani. Hindustani is a mixture of
Hmm.
Urdu and Hindi. It's even like, whatever.
Hmm.
Then
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
then sure, keep it. But why do you have to make yourself visible only during Diwali? And if you're going to make yourself visible only during Diwali, make sure you do something that is on brand for you. You know. Uh, so it's like this. It's like this. Uh, I would say. I think that where these people who are offended, I'm talking about the sensible people where they're offended and all, where they're coming from is this. If a brand for the entire year doesn't think about women, suddenly
Hmm.
Women's Day they suddenly want to promote women. I'm a little like,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
how did this become?
Hmm.
So it's not, it's off key,
Hmm. You're
right?
just capitalizing on that moment. You just want to ride the wave of euphoria. Yeah.
Correct. So I'd say just be genuine, just be authentic, and don't be off. And again, there's no way to know what might offend people actually nowadays because I saw one ad which was for Tata Click, which had
Hmm.
two women dressed in green.
Hmm. अरे
It's
हाँ,
like
I saw that. बिंदी नहीं है,
why
हरे में क्यों बना है?
or by the way, also why Hara? Like these were the kind of things we used to write as jokes when we were writing about Sambit Patra. कि संबित पात्रा बोल रहे हैं कि अरविंद केजरीवाल स्टेज पे गए हरा मफलर पहन के. I'm just like, this seems like this is now getting ridiculous. This is. Are you saying that green is the color of like what? Trees are now anti-national. What is happening? Why are the? Why don't you have what green stuff are you smoking? I don't.
We shall not talk about stuff or smoking at all. So you're just saying that the brands have to be more careful now. You're asking the brands to be more careful during.
Absolutely. It's yeah, you have a lot of because at the end of the day, the big people will not be the ones who suffer. It will be like the poor managers of Tanishq showroom, yeah. They were
Yep.
like these. This is a man earning his bread and butter.
Yep.
He has had
Yep.
nothing to do with the ad, and now his livelihood is being threatened. His store, the store, people are coming there and breaking down the stores and everything. I mean, मतलब now when I think about it, यार मतलब जाने भी तो यारो मतलब ये लोग इनको याद नहीं है कि जाने भी तो यारो का क्लाइमेक्स सीन क्या था.
I use the example of that movie with almost every actor that I have been able to speak to throughout the course of this podcast. So uh, just imagine that movie being made in this day and age. People would have died, and this is no exaggeration. People would have been killed. There would have been attacks on their lives if something like this came out. Just for portraying, just for wearing a घाघरा. दीपिका की नाक काटने का वो इशू हो गया था यार, जस्ट फॉर वेयरिंग अ घाघरा एंड डांसिंग इन पद्मावत. वो सब शुरू कर दिया था करनी सेना ने. इफ दैट मूवी इज मेड टुडे, आई शडर टू थिंक व्हाट वुड हैपन. अभी रिसेंटली भी तो हुआ था ये, कौन सा वेब सीरीज था ये, तांडव था, जिसमें मोहम्मद ईशान अयूब के ऊपर ये सब इश्यूज चल रहे थे. तांडव इट वाज ना. तो उसमें क्या था, उसमें लिटरली कुछ भी नहीं. आई हैव सीन दैट सीरीज एंड उसमें लिटरली कुछ भी नहीं था, बट द शो मेकर्स हैड टू अपोलोजाइज, द पर्सन हिमसेल्फ हैड टू
And
apologize
it
and
was
all.
not
So
even like Tandav was not even like a great series. It got way too much. It was it was very okay. I mean, there
हाँ.
are better series to watch. Please watch Mirzapur. Which yeah. See, the thing is that again, people don't realize that when we are connecting with a huge bunch of people, when uh, you have to talk about references that they are familiar with. Okay, अभी
हम्म.
मैं uh, अपनी ऑडियंस के सामने जाके
हम्म.
उनको उनके सामने मोसेस और एक्सोडस की बात करूंगी तो उनको समझ में नहीं आएगी ना आधी चीजें कि मतलब मैं पूरी कहानी उनको समझा भी सकती हूँ मतलब उसमें 1 घंटा
हम्म.
लग जाएगा.
हम्म.
Whereas a joke where I have to make a reference with, when you take one of our own, like Indian texts, the ones that have come from here. which people
Hmm.
are already familiar with क्योंकि हम सब ने पंचतंत्र की कहानियां भी
Yep.
पढ़ रखी हैं, everything.
Yep.
People know these things. So then
Hmm.
you make like one, you, and by the way, let me tell you, oh man, I love this. आप किसी भी हास्य कवि सम्मेलन में जाओगे,
Hmm.
most of the poets, when they're talking about, when they're doing satire, it's satire mostly. And in more, quite a lot of the satire, there are many references to Indian texts and epics. Quite a lot of them there is. And they use it to bring out a point. There's one poet, Surinder Sharma. He's
Yeah.
done a bit about his experience of participating in the Ram Leela
Okay.
and how he did not want to be uh, Lakshman in it and why. And he says it in a funny way, but he does an
Hmm.
impression of Lord Ram as well. Now, I'm just like if he has been considered one of the greatest poets of our country and he's
Yes.
devoured a lot and
Absolutely.
people
Yeah.
keep telling me I keep getting it in the comments from these learned people like why can't the true artists of our country are Surinder Sharma and for some reason Kapil Sharma. And these stand-up comics only do below the belt jokes. I'm just like आप जाके सुरेंद्र शर्मा की एक बार पोइट्री आप एक भी नहीं सुने हो उसकी पोइट्री आप एक बार जाके सुनो तो आपको पता चलेगा कि बहुत गहरी बातें बोली है उन्होंने
Hmm.
यूजिंग आर एपिक्स ऑल्सो बट
Hmm.
वही है कि आप मतलब इट डिपेंड्स आई गेस द मीडियम इज व्हाट मैटर्स टू देम अगर आप स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी शो में आप अब जैसे जीशान अयूब का जो बिट जो उन्होंने किया
Hmm.
है
Hmm.
वो it was in the format of a street play
Hmm.
which
Nukkad
is very
natak. Huh.
popular in the हाँ it was very popular ये दिल्ली वाले करते हैं दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी
Hmm.
लखनऊ यूनिवर्सिटी वगैरह के
Hmm.
बच्चे करते हैं it's done quite a bit firstly and also they're always like this dramatic and uh, they use the epics to make the point and
Hmm.
the juxtaposition of uh, an ancient god from an arcane time coming out and
Hmm.
into the new world. It's something that has been explored in
Hmm.
many places. But well, I would say just stay away and don't keep. I mean, if I was Amir Khan, I would look, wow, that's a line I never thought I would say. I would read the script of the Seat ad and immediately recognize where the problem is, and I would be like, no. I've so the ads that I showcase, I do like black demos, ad digital advertising black demos. The Tanishq ad obviously was one of them. Then there was also that Surf Excel ad that came out last year,
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
which
I
was
remember that.
supposedly like a sweet ad, but then it
Very
was
sweet.
considered
Yeah.
yeah, it was considered anti uh,
Yeah. Of course. Of course, it
because
was considered international. Yeah.
so I was just like these are things that don't use. I would just say don't use religion or any religious festival as a time for virtue signaling. You are a brand. You're a brand. Please behave like a fucking brand. Don't try to be a cool person trying so hard to connect with people and say that there is goodness in you because uh, if you're a corporate of any kind you've done some dark deeds. There is no way. I'm sorry, but I don't know of a single company that is not that's not done carried out dark deeds. Don't use religious festivals as a way to tell people to be better people. Why are you saving the environment? Why should any religious festival be about saving the environment? Why should any religious festival be about you're telling people don't do this, do this? Let people celebrate their religion the way they want to, and uh, don't interfere. That would be my thing.
So
Show people, yeah.
let me counter that. Why not? We are living in a free country. We are
No, we are
at
not.
the freedom. End of discussion.
No, we are not.
I have no further points to make.
I don't think when I say free country, this is India. This is not America.
Hmm.
This is not the place where Obama will come on this Saturday Night Live himself and do sketches and
Hmm.
make jokes on himself. So this is not that. This is not what who we are. We are not a country where you can go around making fun of politicians. You can't even make fun of politicians here. It's a fact. I'm sorry. I've actually had requests for corporate shows and all, and they're like, no, don't do jokes on this particular politician.
Because they're
If
demigods now, right? Uh,
yes, and once you make someone a god, then there is no way to make jokes about them. अब तुम क्या बोलो? Now, if making a joke on our prime minister is hurting, can hurt a little sentiment as well. No.
Making a joke to chodo, even voicing a disagreement with his policies is offensive. जोक तो बहुत दूर की बात है यार.
यार वो मोर को खिला रहे हैं फीड करते हैं मतलब क्या I mean, how is that not objectively? And there's one part where he's chasing the peacock around the tree, or like it's
Yeah, yeah.
how is that not? I feel like that was I didn't make a single joke on that because I was like that looks like a booby trap. That looks like a trap. He's trying to, for us to say something horrible, and then we go to jail. That's what he's doing. That's why I just kept quiet after that.
So if you haven't followed, follow the account Anit Shah. So he is obviously someone who is parodying as our honorable home minister, and काफी काफी अच्छा कंटेंट आ रहा है वहां से. मैं कल परसों से मैं उसको फॉलो कर रहा हूँ. सो दिस somebody, हाँ, सारा अली खान wished Amit Shah on his birthday, and Anit Shah replied, वानखेड़े इसका नाम लिस्ट में से काट दो. So ठीक है,
Yeah,
good stuff.
that's what happened with Shah Rukh actually. Shah Rukh did not say happy birthday Modi ji on 18th
Yes,
of
yes,
September.
yes, yes.
I
We
saw
can
that.
track
I
it
saw he
back.
was the only one who didn't wish, and I was like, yeah, wish ही कर देते यार. मतलब happy birthday बोल देना चाहिए था आपको. क्या जरूरत है?
So I just came across a couple of days back an image where Saif, Akshay, Chunky Pandey,
They,
Prakash,
I know you what you're talking.
yeah,
Sanju, we are with Sanju.
yeah. And अभी आज कल के टाइम पे, so you can't even think of people doing this. I mean, no one has the spine to do it.
Yeah, but the deal is that what Sanjay Dutt was accused of was it was a very serious allegation,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he
AK
has
forty
served
seven.
time for it. That was a crime. I'm
Hmm,
sorry, it's
hmm.
a far greater crime than having 6 grams of hash or texting Ananya Pandey to arrange for
Allegedly having 6 grams
allegedly.
of hash. Yeah.
I saw this news report of Ananya Pandey. I think I saw it on Reddit. Tell me if it's true. But apparently,
Hmm.
he had texted Aryan had texted Ananya Pandey if she could if she has stuff on her, and she's like, I'll arrange it. And now she's explaining to the police, obviously, that
I
it
was
was just a
joking.
joke. I was joking, yeah. I mean, this is so. Why are they wasting their time on Ananya Pandey and Aryan Khan? I mean, are all the crimes in our country solved? Is the only thing.
And why is this national news? Why is this the front page
It will
news
be
on?
now. Of course, it will be for national news. Yeah, I mean that's why they're doing it. So Shah Rukh Khan's son, dude. It's not Fardeen Khan, and it's not. I remember Fardeen Khan was also caught in a drug bust. You remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
And then his dad had come. His dad commented like all kids do drugs. They're spreading.
That was a
Yeah, now
different.
that
In his
that was a
defense,
different time.
that was a different era altogether. Yeah, you could say shit like that earlier and get away with it because it was nobody else's business. And yeah, anyways.
We were talking about Ritesh Deshmukh's tweet also. I haven't seen it, so can you just tell me what it is? Please, I really want to see because I just saw I've not been on Twitter. I take like breaks from Twitter and all
Mm,
on weekends.
mm, mm.
So I haven't seen Twitter. What happened?
So this was what he tweeted out. So it is clearly a WhatsApp joke. I received it on WhatsApp myself. So clearly a joke meant as a joke, but the response has
Yeah.
obviously been
Why he
phenomenal.
won't say sevai? How much is the what is the
Of
rate for
how
sevai?
dare he? How dare
Why
he?
not why not say about plum pudding? Huh? Because that's just what
So this was the response from again a custodian of our emotions, a custodian for our religious sentiments. तुम लोगों को ज्ञान सिर्फ सनातन पर्वों पर ही क्यों होता है? ईद या मेरी क्रिसमस या न्यू ईयर पे मुंह में दही जमा लेते. So credit to Ritesh as well. He came back with a good jibe. But yeah, so if you go through his Twitter mentions, his replies on this tweet, it has blown up. पहली
So
बात
what
तो
are
तुमने,
what are the
हाँ, तुमने हरा कलर कैसे चूज किया? ट्वीट के लिए तुमने हरा रंग कैसे चूज कर लिया? रंग भी हरा है, देखो कैसा कैसा इंसान है ये. So this is exactly the moment when I realized that I should be doing an episode on this issue this week, this outrage, this fake outrage this week, because this is when I felt
not
it
fake?
was a little out
It's
of hand.
real. Stop feeling it's fake. This is what there's
यार,
something there's a problem I have with
come on
people.
यार.
People just keep saying, no, this is fake, this is fabricated, this is made up, it's all IT cell. No, they were real people, very real people behind all this, and they genuinely feel this way. That's all you can
So that's where I disagree. I agree that there are genuine people behind this, but in my opinion, they are doing this simply for 5 minutes of attention or 2 minutes of fame. They don't genuinely feel like this. They don't give a shit about it. They, in their personal lives, it doesn't affect them in any way. But calling a celebrity out on Twitter, calling a brand out on Twitter, or uh, throwing stones at a brand store, a brand outlet, that gives them that 5 minutes of attention, 5 minutes of fame. Maybe, just maybe, grabs the attention of someone in a higher power as well, and they might land up with a job with them. So it is all to gain attention. So that's why
I
I
know
call
a
it
person
fake.
whose exact career, I kid you not, there's a person, there's a politician, I'm not going to name him. I don't know if
Of
he's a
course.
politician still or whatever, but he was one of the karyakartas of some sort. His whole job,
Hmm.
literally, is to watch YouTube videos of comedians online and make a list of who all we can target. That's literally what he does. It's insane. And he's from Maharashtra. He once threatened me, we will do yeah, FIR from UP. Just wait. And I'm like, do you not trust the Maharashtra police? Are you kidding me?
So that's why they do. That's why I call it fake outrage. I mean, ठीक है. To bringing the point back to sort of a closure, uh, the reason why we started discussing it in the first place, what, where do we go from here? I mean, is this the way that there is a thumb rule that no brand can even think about saying something remotely close to religion or traditions or festivals or anything like that
Yeah.
ever? That's the new blueprint now.
Yes. I just feel that don't use a religious festival as a place to ask someone to change their life or to, change traditions. Don't go after a tradition or a ceremony in a way because it feels like you know then you'll have to do it for everyone. Either do it either that val- maintain that value throughout
Hmm.
your life as a brand, or don't do it at all. I would say it's just easier not to do it. Just I don't think there's anything wrong with just saying Diwali ki ke shubh avsar pe
शुभकामनाएं.
aapko shubhkamnaएं. There's nothing wrong with saying that. That's the best thing to say. Deepavali ke
सो
shubh avsar pe.
जस्ट टेल मी, सीएट ने क्या गलत किया था? तो जो हमारे एमएलए हैं उनका ये रिस्पांस था
Up
दैट इट इज कॉज अनरेस्ट अमंग हिंदूज.
because
सिर्फ.
I know the Diwali. See, the timing is when did they release the ad? The timing is a little curious. Okay, you're talking about the T20, you're talking about the match for sure, and you're talking about people celebrating victory during this thing. But why did you? So now, if they had done it at any other time of the year, say
I
in
think they would
Jan,
have. I think they would have. Whenever the T20 World Cup would have been starting, they would have done the ad.
they would have done the ad. Okay, whatever. Now, if they had done it at any other time of the year, where they talked about how people bursting crackers in the middle of the road after a match is funny, but right now they're doing it so close to Diwali, so it feels like you're bringing up. Yeah, that's what it's about timing. It's about context. Advertising is all context. People will
Hmm.
take it in the wrong light. Now, if you had released this ad any other time of the year at another match, which was not during October, November, which is not close to Diwali, maybe then, or you showed people celebrating, and the other thing, the Bharat thing, you clearly showed uh, it felt like it was a Hindu wedding. This is a Hindu ritual, uh, where the Bharat goes. It's not just a Hindu ritual; it's an Indian ritual actually. हमारे यहाँ होता है. Uh, but we are living in a time where people. I'm not saying people are sensitive, but there is a huge machinery out there that wants to distract you from the real issues. Okay, don't be that distraction. That's all I'd say. So that we can all focus on the real important things like why are we like my boss, my CEO, I was talking to him, and he was just like, you know what I hate the most about this is that I don't care about Aryan Khan at all. None of us did, honestly.
Yep. Yep.
And instead of discussing some real thing like the hunger index, like that is such a that's something that's worth discussing,
Hmm.
right? Rather than denying, like rather the amount of machinery they apply towards, denying that the hunger index uh, ranking is fake news, rather than that, just like maybe focus on
Improving
actually
the ranking.
improving the ranking. On it's not about improving ranking, just there is hunger in
Hmm.
the country. Don't compare it to hunger in other countries. Don't say that we'll be better than Bangladesh. Just there is hunger in the country. These are your people. These are our people.
Hmm.
Why
Hmm.
not work towards that? You are the
Yeah.
government. That's your job. Literally, your job. That's the first thing I would like. If I would, I mean, if you're in power, I think the most important thing should be that no one should go to sleep hungry.
The prices of petrol are 113 rupees per liter now, today itself, in Mumbai. So I was discussing this last week itself. I still remember a time when we had petrol for 26 rupees a liter, and 26 से 28 rupees जब उस टाइम पे हुआ था तो काफी शोर मचा था कि अरे इतना महंगा कैसे हो सकता है पेट्रोल. और अभी हर थर्ड डे वी आर गेटिंग प्राइस हाइक्स एंड नो वन gives a shit because Aryan Khan is more important. So yeah, that's where we are.
Exactly. So just don't be this distraction. Be
Hmm.
I don't think you want that kind of attention. Sure, you get a lot of attention. Just to use other places. There are other days to like start campaigns. Do campaigns on Women's Day. Do campaigns on Mother's Day, Father's Day. Don't talk about one
Earth Day, Environment Day, बहुत
Earth.
days है.
There are yeah. Okay, there is a lot that you can do on every other day.
So as I tell everyone, listen to smart people. All the brands or brand managers listening to this podcast, listen to this smart person on my right.
Yeah, and
And
if you want me to do this consultant, if you want me to do a little sensitivity training for your team, I can help. I can go. I'm offering this as a paid service. I will go through your entire deck for the campaign, Diwali campaign deck, and I will tell you what is hurting whose religious sentiments. I do it for all religions. It's free of cost. No, not free of cost. Sorry,
not free of cost. On that
uh,
perfect note, I think we couldn't have found anything better to end on. So thank you once again, Agrima, for arriving at a moment's notice. And as always, it was absolutely brilliant speaking to you. And
thank you.
it has come a full circle. We You were our legitimately first guest on our podcast, and it's really lovely to have you back on. And I hope this is not a one off. We'll keep chatting about a lot of random stuff on and off a lot more, because it is genuinely fun speaking to you.
Oh, by the way, please wish everybody दिवाली की आप सबको
दिवाली की हार्दिक
शुभकामनाएं.
शुभकामनाएं, आपको सबको हार्दिक
My तरफ
शुभकामनाएं.
से. Yes. दिवाली के क्या क्या पता आप बोले कि विश क्यों नहीं किया. And also happy birthday, belated happy birthday, Modi ji. I haven't gone
Mo-
public in
Amit
a
Shah ji
public
also.
capacity.
Amit Shah ji also.
Amit Shah, happy birthday, Amit Shah. Everybody.
Hmm.
Yes. Bye. Fabad, if you're watching, this is